My question to you, you were born in Modesto. You played your high school ball for the St. Mary's Rams in Stockton. I happen to be from Stockton. I went to Bear Creek High School, so the Rams always beat up on us when we played them. They're a really good squad. But before we get into the finals and your journey, I just want to talk a little bit about your upbringing, being
Mhm.
from the 209. You know, if someone would have told you, Gabe, back during your high school days when you were dominating it with the Rams, that who you would be playing in the NBA Finals, um, in addition to 2020 that year. But you know, when you look at your journey being from that area, playing in the NBA Finals, do you feel that you're not only representing the Miami Heat, but you're also representing Stockton and the 209?
I mean, I think everyone's representing where they come from as well, and I think we've been doing that as long as we've been playing. Even though I went to college, and people knew where came from, and I think you represent those people as well. So, my people from home come with me everywhere. In that regard, I'll forever be where I'm from, and they've played a huge role in my upbringing and getting me to where I am today, and even accepting me during my time in St. Mary's. I haven't transferred in, and the city embracing me and allowing me to be me and to be me at that school and to grow and flourish. And so I'm forever grateful to hometown.
Now, I just want you to kind of set the record straight on something. A lot of people will say, "Oh, Gabe Vincent," will refer to you as Modesto native. Some will refer to you as Stockton native Gabe Vincent. What do you refer to yourself as where you're from and which city you associate yourself with?
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. I was born and raised in Modesto, so I think that alone sets the tone for that. The minute I transferred to Stockton, I just became known in the basketball community as the kid from Stockton, and I think that's kind of where it took a life of its own, and we ran with it. Like I mentioned before, though, the city has embraced me and welcomed me in, and that's something that Stockton didn't have to do. I could have just been another player that transferred in and played and left. But I felt the love from the city. They embraced me, and I'm very grateful when I do get a chance to represent them. And I take pride when people say, "Oh, you're from Stockton." I take pride in that, even though I necessarily wasn't born and raised there. I appreciate them for embracing me, and Stockton embracing me as their own as well.
Well, they definitely take pride in you, that's for sure. So, you know, your journey in general, obviously you were undrafted. You bounced around in the G League with the Stockton Kings, and then you obviously found your home in the Miami Heat. When you look at your personal journey, Gabe, what does it say about trusting the process, knowing your value, working hard, and you will eventually get to where you want to be?
Yeah, I mean, I think I never gave up. I was persistent. I had a plan in place. I had a vision, and I just followed the steps, and trusted in the work that I put in.
Speaking of that work you put in, someone who I spoke to recently, Gus Armstead, who's
Right.
a very prevalent and proficient trainer up in Northern California. He's worked with a lot of athletes out there. What has Gus meant to your career and to where you're at right now?
Gus has meant the world to me. We've been connected ever since high school. I tell him time and time again, I appreciate you. Whether it's just words of wisdom or time in the off season or him coming out to a game in Miami or Boston in game 7, so he's been with me for this entire journey, and we're excited to see what we can accomplish.
Is there somebody in your life, Gabe, when you look back at your time at Modesto and Stockton throughout the G League to where you got, is there an inspiration that you have or a biggest influence who's paid who paid a critical role in where you're at now?
I'd say my family for sure. Their endless support, and love for me, whether I'm playing in a game with Nigeria in the middle of China, in the middle of China, mainland China, or I'm in Stockton in our hometown, or Hawaii with Santa Barbara. So they've been doing a great job of supporting me, showing me love through all the ups and downs, the injuries, the championships, etc. So it's been great.
Now, you personally, you had career highs this year as far as scoring. As a matter of fact, in the Eastern Conference Finals, you were averaging nearly 16 a game. What do you attribute taking that next step this year to, and what do you attribute just your overall proficiency on the court to this season?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been a lot of work put into that to be able to produce. But most importantly, I think, between my teammates and my coaching staff, they've poured confidence into me and poured life into me and encouraged me time and time again. It's not that hard to take a shot when your star players telling you to shoot it when you catch it, or giving you that confidence, or feeding that into you. So the support from my teammates and my coaching staff has been huge for me, and I'm definitely grateful to them to allow me to take on these moments.
Two words you just said there were support and confidence that your team and your teammates have been giving you. A
Mm-hmm.
lot has been said about you guys being an eighth seed, making it to the NBA Finals. It's the second time in history that that's happened. You obviously were up 3-0 against the defending Eastern Conference champs. They came back, tied the series. What has been the grit and determination of this team throughout this postseason? And if you had to describe just the theme of you guys this postseason, which is practically unprecedented, what would you refer to that as?
Resiliency. I think we're a very resilient group. I think a lot of what we are instilled with through our culture and through what we believe in and how we practice that plays a major role. And we understand that the way we do things and the way we operate isn't for everybody. We start there with our culture. It's not for everybody. But we know the things that we're capable of, and we know that, if we continue to believe in one another and play good basketball, that, we can do a lot of great things.
Now, after Game 7 on the court, you were interviewed in regard to why the Denver Nuggets should fear this team as an eighth seed. And you said, quote, "Everyone doubted us, but we are here." Would you mind elaborating on that?
I don't know what there is to elaborate on. I mean, we had a 3% chance after we were up 2 or 3 games, so I think it's very clear that we've been doubted time and time again. But that doesn't change the faith that we have in one another. And it doesn't change the things that we're capable of doing when we're playing good basketball.
Now, obviously, Gabe, this is a stage that most NBA players dream of. And this goes back to my first question to you, being from, the 209 and being able to be on this stage. As you know, there's a lot of kids in Stockton and Modesto and the Central Valley who are looking at what you're doing right now in the league and are inspired by you. What is your message to all of those kids back in the 209 who want to be the next Gabe Vincent?
Just stay focused. Stay focused. There's going to be a number of things along the way that will be distracting, that will try to deter you from your ultimate goal, your ultimate or your vision. Just try to stay focused on the task at hand.
Do you have a favorite place or restaurant in the 209 that you like to visit every time you come back here, or a favorite spot to go?
Not one I could think of off the top of my head.
No worries. And then one of my last things for you, Gabe, as you look at your ascension in this career, and you look at your growth and whatnot, how much would you attribute to that being mentally, mentally sound versus just the physical work that you put in?
It's very important. The physical aspect of the game is a given. You have to have certain aspects of that. But the mental side of it, being able to play through fatigue or injury, or being able to read a situation and adjust in real time on the fly, makes a huge difference, especially this time of the year.
And then my last thing from you, obviously in our home market here, the Sacramento Kings are our team. So if I could just ask you one quick Kings question. Obviously, that's not a team you're preparing for. That's not a team you play for, none of that stuff. But when you look at what that team was able to do this year, throughout other teams in the NBA or players in the NBA, did the Kings ever make you guys take notice this year? Like, wow, they're on the map now.
I mean, I think everyone noticed what Sacramento Kings have done this year. I think with the new coaching staff, Coach Mike Brown came in, did a great job with the group. They had additional pieces they added. De'Aaron Fox had a hell of a season. They put together a great year, I think, and hopefully it's the first of many to come, for our Sacramento fans. I know that they've been missing that, haven't been in that area most of my life. So, it's great to see them have some success and to see the city get excited.
Did you grow up a Kings fan or Warriors fan, being from Northern California, or?
I grew up a basketball fan.
Good answer. And then you mentioned Mike Brown. He was your Nigerian head coach. Anything about Mike Brown that you can share that maybe us in Sacramento don't know about him, or anything that's unique about Mike Brown that makes him?
I think you guys saw a good glimpse of Mike this season and the things he's capable of. So I wish him nothing but the most success.
All right, Gabe. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate the time, man. God
Appreciate
bless and have a good one. Good luck to you.
it. God bless. Thank you.